my precious viewer, karibu sana again for yet another episode. This is my YouTube channel, Rose Tata Wekesa. I am a teacher of biology and chemistry from Nairobi, Kenya. Now, in this space, I would like to be interviewing great and phenomenal educators just to celebrate them for their efforts and their contribution in science education and education at large. Karibuni sana, like, subscribe, and share. Now, today I have a very interesting guest. This is my primary school science teacher. Now, I remember my father taking me to a boarding school for the first time, and the man that was given to me as a class teacher is the man who you're going to see in the next few minutes. Now, he is very passionate, and I remember how I even remember his voice. Like before I even contacted him, I could remember his voice and how he used to teach science so passionately, how he prepared me for KCPE, and I ended up passing and being among the best girls in the country during our year. So I am so honored to have him sit here with us. He will introduce himself and we'll get going. Karibuni sana and thank you.
Hi, my name is Mr. Maina, David Maina, and I'm a teacher. I've taught science for many years. As Rose has said, I've taught her science in the primary school, and I put the love of science in her. I'm married, I have a wife called Miriam Waboi, and I've got 2 children. One is a son, he is doing his degree in the university, and the other is a daughter who is also in the campus.
Thank you. Karibu sana mwalimu.
Thank you so much.
I'm so honored to have you. Yes. Now please tell us, how did you get to reconnect with me?
I was seated at home one evening and I was watching news in Citizen, and then I saw Rose Tata she was teaching science to become the best in the world in the Guinness Book of Record, but I didn't notice you are the one. Okay. So I just had the news and it went. But when I went to my Facebook page, your picture came. And then I told my family, I know this girl. This is Rose Tata. I've ever taught her, and they were very excited by the way. They came and saw, and then explained what you are doing. Then that's when I wrote for you. I wrote to you an email through the phone, and then you remember you answered and you gave me your number. Then I called you, and then we were able to connect.
Yes. I think you contacting me was quite timely because actually when I started this YouTube channel, I just wanted to have a space where I could showcase the longest science lesson to the world. But it didn't occur to me that at some point I will need to be interviewing educators. So I'm so happy that you actually contacted me. And it's an amazing thing that we get to reconnect over 20 years. The last time I think you saw me, I must have been in my primary school uniform. So it's been many years, and I'm happy that we have reconnected. Now, Mr. Maina, how many years of experience do you have teaching science?
Since when I started teaching, I think I've got about 30 years now.
30 years?
30 long years.
Wow,
yes.
That is interesting. I am 12 years in the profession, and I feel like I'm very experienced. So having to sit with you here, I'm sure there's a lot for me to learn as an individual, and even for those who are in the teaching profession, this is walking gold. Yeah, the wealth of experience is just too much here. So I'd like to know from you, how can you compare teaching before and now?
I think teaching is a wonderful job, but if I compare the time when you are teaching, the time you are teaching you and now, I think the profession has evolved in its own way, because that time you remember, if you misbehaved or you never did the right thing, you are whipped.
By the way, kwanza achia hapo kwa whipping. Mr. Maina, viboko zako zilikuwa uchungu sana. You are teaching us passionately and disciplining us passionately.
But you see, to be where you are now, you needed that discipline.
Kwanza kuna siku ulikuwa umeniwekea target ya 90 nikapata 88.
Yeah.
Hey, Anyway, I'm so grateful that you actually did that because.
But you see, we had to put
Yeah.
a very high target so that at least you work hard, achieve it or even better.
Yes, yes.
And if you miss it by 1 or 2 months.
Yes, yes. And I'm sure our viewers by now, as I was introducing Mr. Maina, I would want you to see the kind of teacher he was, the kind of awards he got, the many certificates of merit that he got as a result of his exemplary teaching. If I was in school over 20 years ago and I can still remember his voice, that must have been quite a passionate teacher. So as we proceed, Bwana Maina, what memories do you have of me as your student?
I remember when you came, those are very many years, but I think from what I can remember, you are a hard-working girl. And one thing, when I called you first, or when I wrote you the email first, the first thing I asked you is whether your father is still alive.
Yes.
Because I remember his passion. When he used to come to class during visiting day, how he was asking me questions about your progress. I've never forgotten that man.
Wow.
I've never forgotten him. And when he told me that he is still alive, I was touched and I said, God keep him alive to see this girl frying.
Yes.
Yes.
Asante sana.
But number two, I remember you are a hardworking girl. You are well behaved actually. You had good manners. And above all, you are able to achieve most of your targets.
Yes.
And when I remember when you got your final examination, you got 93 marks. That is 93% in the final examination. That was wonderful.
Yes.
It was real success.
Yes, yes.
It was not easy to achieve, but you really did it because you had the right attitude. Number two, you are a hardworking girl, and you took our punishment and you took our way of teaching the right way.
Yeah, I think it was quite something trying to adjust because it was actually my first time in boarding school. So I remember the first time, especially when my dad left me, I really cried. And I remember the kind of encouragement that I got from you and, from the other teachers. So I still remember the impact that you had in my life then when I was in school. So just to ask you now, because you've been a teacher for long, you've interacted with parents who have children in school, and you've even mentioned about how you observed how my father was concerned about my education. What do you think is the role of the parents, other than just paying school fees and bringing the child to school? What do you think is the role of the parent in their child's education and in their overall academic performance, their welfare basically?
I think the parents should be involved in the child education. And remember our times, our parents were not actually experienced, they were not educated. My mother was not educated. Okay. So her work was to take me to school, I do my stuff, then I come back home.
All right.
But she used to buy me books whenever I asked that. But for today, the parents, because they are very educated, they must be involved in what their children are doing. They must ensure that the children are doing homework. Yes, they do the homework. The children do the homework. The children, they are clean. They are able to polish their own shoes, make their bed. Education starts at home. Okay. So when the children go back to school and they go to school and get the teachers, the teacher just continue from where the mother or the father stopped. And not only the mother, the father must also be very involved, both of them. And especially today when you're having CBC, it has made sure that even the parents are very involved, even in doing the homework, buying some requirements, and so on.
Yeah, so the new curriculum has actually pulled the parents into participating more in their children's education. And I observe this because I'm in an institution currently actively teaching, and you can see the difference between children whose parents are very concerned and whose parents are actively involved in their children's education. And on the other hand, it is quite sad when you see that there are some parents who are too busy to be involved in their children's education. Like the parent is so busy and has not put systems in place, because you can be busy, but you can put systems in place where your child will get the kind of attention that they require for their education. So you find that a parent has no concern over their children's performance. They do not know whether even the child has been having homework. So you can actually tell even from the overall performance. You can compare a child whose parent is involved and a child whose parent is not involved. So I think that's quite a very important point. Now, having this kind of experience, 30 years plus, what is your best memory as a teacher? One that really stands out for you?
My best memory, especially in Nakuru, where you also schooled, is when we worked so hard. We were waking up very early at 5 and maybe going to out of class maybe even at 10. And it was very hard work. But our payment came when our children did well in the final examination. That's when ranking was there, you remember? Yes, people were being ranked, learners were being ranked, schools were being ranked, even the districts were being ranked. And when we went when you got a newspaper in the morning after the exam is released, and then you see your school ranking among the best. Then you see the students that you have been teaching appearing among the best top 100 in the country. Like you appeared in number 82? 83. She appeared in number 83 nationally. That is now what made us, or that is what created our memories. Number 2, I remember there are some people who used to teach. They came when they were very poor. You get somebody that does not even know mathematics, can't even answer a single question in science. From where they came, that's the reason, because of a combination of factors. But when they come to your school and you work hard on them, these people had potential. But somewhere along the way, they lost it. But if you work hard on them, then you find them doing well and they improve. But remember, there is one boy I taught in Nakuru. Where he came, he was very poor. But by the time he did his examination, he was among the top. That you feel good. You see, if this child has come from nowhere and now he is among the best, he has even overtaken others. Even recently, I remember here in Nyahururu, where I was working, a girl coming from Tanzania. She was not even doing the Kenyan system. She was doing another system in Tanzania. And when she came here, she got a new system. But this girl was hard working, and we encouraged her. And with our input, she was able to come up. And by the time she did her examination, a few years ago, she got a marks of over 401 out of 500.
Oh, that's quite exemplary, yes. Yeah, and I mean, being a teacher, you really get fulfilled when you see your children performing very well. So are you in contact with any of the students that you are teaching? And what would you want to tell, the people who have gone through your hands who may get to watch this video?
I've gotten your contact. That's number 1. Number 2, I've gotten a number of them. Okay. Some of them may be in Nyahururu where I live. They come, we meet, they shake a hand, and then they remind me. But some boys have changed much. You see boy with the beard, you can't remember or recall him, then he come and say, hey, you feel so good. And this boy, there's one boy in Nakuru near the garage, he told me that teacher ulitusaidia sana. This boy, he reminds you the work you did. Sometimes somewhere along the line you think that it got lost. Sometimes you think as if that work nobody even noticed. But the work that we did is in this country. And even some of them are like the one girl you are telling me, they went abroad. And they are doing well. And the discipline that we instilled, the discipline that we instilled in them, it is still helping them to be whom they are today. Yes. So I've met some people. There's a girl I met recently through Facebook. And when we come across them, we celebrate, we are happy. There's one I got in Nyahururu doing medicine there. She's practicing medicine there. Wonderful. And we taught him still in Nakuru. Wow. Yes. So when you see that one, I remember another one was called Karawajiko. Last time I saw her in Nakuru, she was in, what do you call this school for, this hospital for children? Here in Nairobi. Yeah, Gertrude, yes. She was in Gertrude.
Okay.
And she was doing very well. And she was in one of my very first class that I ever taught.
Wow.
So I felt good that if I was a child, she could have given me so many injections.
I know. Angelipisha viboko, yeah? Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And now that you have shared your best memories, what was your lowest, in your 30 years plus experience, what was your lowest point that you still remember to date?
That one is a big challenge because it got me out of class. That time, that was 2000, that is 2000 before Corona hit. And
2020.
2020, yes. 2020 before Corona hit. And I remember it was my body became very heavy for me to carry. And I could hardly go upstairs. Even a few stairs I couldn't finish without having to take a rest. I could get things like hiccups for over 10 hours.
Oh, continuously.
Yes. And I was taught that if you have hiccups, you just hold your breath. You accumulate the carbon dioxide, then they go. When I tried this small first aid, it failed over and over. Then I went to hospital, I was given some medicine. I had many problems, but I didn't know I was sick. When I went to see the doctor told me that I was sent to I was being checked my eyes. So I was sent to City Eye here in Nairobi. Okay. And what happened, I went there, my eyes were checked thoroughly, there was no problem. Out of scans and tests, there was no problem. So they advised me to go and take an MRI. When I went to Nakuru to take an MRI, the result I was given, they were sent to my phone. Just by reading them like this, I knew I'm having a brain tumor.
Brain tumor.
Yes, and then understand why I had all the problem. So I went to Coptic Hospital. I saw a doctor. I went to Coptic Hospital, and then I was assisted, and the whole thing was out. Yes. Now I'm as fit as a fiddle.
Yes. Now imagine if science did not exist. Like you see, even that, because I remember when you were explaining to me earlier on, you said that they didn't have to open, they didn't have to cut you anywhere, yet they were able to extract the brain tumor. I mean, that is actually a combination of medical science and technology as well. Like if science did not exist, we would not have such kind of medical innovations.
What happened, when I went there, it was found that the tumor is the front. Inside, inside the skull. Okay. And it has caused so many. I was having migraines like never before. And I was not understanding what was happening. So when I saw the neurosurgeon and we talked with him in Nakuru, he sent me to Coptic Hospital in Nairobi. So when I came, he saw that he can't do it alone because of the positioning, because it's just above the nose somewhere here. So he called an ENT specialist, discussed about it, and then it was able to be extracted through the nose. Wow. Yes. Actually, science and medicine, they are doing great.
Science, I always say, like in most of my videos, I say that science is life and life is science. Sure. You know, everything that surrounds us and everything we are doing has some science in it. Sure. Yeah, so wow, that's amazing. What about a low moment I understand that is a low moment when it comes to your own health, but what about in your teaching profession? Like just to share with the viewers, one of my lowest moments so far in the profession was when one of my students committed suicide. I was the class teacher for that boy, and he was just a quiet boy, a very, disciplined boy. You could not tell he's having any issue. And at some point, we realized he was not coming to school. And a few days later, we learned that he had actually committed suicide. So you can imagine having to deal with such a thing as a teacher. For me, so far, in my 12 years of experience, that has been my lowest moment. Losing a student that I interacted with weeks ago, and going to see that student actually in a coffin, for me, that was the lowest. So I'd like you to share yours as well. When it comes to the profession of teaching, what was your lowest moment?
You see, we are human beings. And when you are working, and you are working very hard, because I work hard. Myself, I work hard to promote the kids. You remember, I was even literally running to class to beat time.
Running.
And at that time, when you go to some school, because I work in private schools, sometimes you go to some schools, and then when you work so hard, you may find somebody one or two is trying to slow you down.
Yes.
For some reasons you may not understand.
Work politics.
Yes, work politics, sure. Where when you work so hard, you become a threat to somebody. They think that you are working so hard so that your money can be increased, or you are working so hard so that you can be promoted. I'll tell you the truth, I don't even like promotions. I like dealing with the kids there now.
Children,
That's because when I'm in class, that's the best moment I have with kids.
Yes.
When we are talking to them, we are laughing because you also laugh. Mine are very excited.
Yes.
Very, very exciting lessons.
Exciting lessons.
And we also laugh at times. Sometimes it becomes serious depending on how the performance and such things. But those are the moments that have made my life. And I can even tell you now, some of my best moments is when I've been in class. And I perform, and then you see the kids they like your work.
Yes.
They also tend to love you as time goes on. You love them, then you become a family.
Amazing.
And then you see that you are having a small family here, and you are doing well. That one is great.
Yeah.
But when some people start trying to pull you down for their own reasons you don't understand, that one has been very low for me. That one has been very low for me.
Okay.
But I know that's something that we can't avoid. But still, people should embrace work.
Yes.
And whoever is working very hard, let him fly. Let him go on.
Yeah.
Follow suit. If you can't follow suit, quit. Yes.
Work politics is actually an issue that is very, very real. And it's everywhere. I mean, even these big companies in schools, work politics are there. But I always say that my candle cannot shine brighter if I dim yours. You see? But if
put off mine.
Yeah, or I put off yours. So we should just allow each other to shine and to grow. Now that we are here, I'm a young teacher. I can call myself young because you have double the experience I have plus more years on top. As an experienced science teacher, what advice would you give to the current students who could be having a difficulty in science? Because science is known to be difficult. I mean, some students come and ask me before they select chemistry, they ask me, Miss, is chemistry hard? Because they've already had it. There's already that narrative that science is hard. What advice?
Actually, I remember even before we went to secondary school ourselves, the boys who were ahead of us, they came to tell us how chemistry is difficult, how mathematics is difficult, how physics is difficult. They preached to us the wrong gospel. So when we went to school, by the time I sat in the first day of school, in the secondary school, I had already failed chemistry. I had already failed mathematics because people have put in you the wrong information. Rather than encouraging you to work hard, because they have feared it and they have failed, they transfer the fear to other people. You know, when many people fail, it's better rather than failing alone. So that's what they were doing. That they are trying to make sure everybody fails so that it can become difficult. And I also remember when we were doing economics, it's the same story with economics. People tell you how economics, and in our school, stream A was doing commerce, stream B was doing economics. And I felt on stream B, and everybody in the whole school is screaming, "You're in stream B. So you fail even before the lesson starts." So what I can tell these boys and girls, or the people who are studying the science, biology, chemistry, and physics, one, work on your attitude. Your attitude is very important. Because if you don't like something, how can you succeed in what you hate? If I cannot eat a meat I don't like, then how can you succeed in physics that you hate? One, work on your attitude. Number two, those people who like preaching to others that science is difficult. And even sometimes they even used to say that, oh, girls, they fail in science, and boys are doing well in science. There's nothing like that. Every candidate is as good as the other one. It depends on how you manage yourself. One is attitude. Two, how work hard. Three, love your teacher and love the subject. Because if you hate your teacher, you will eventually come to hate the subject. Because if you don't like your teacher, what he is bringing to you, you can't take it. Exactly. So love the teacher, love the subject itself, and believe it is easy. Your attitude should be right. Then number three, there's something that really helped us when we were in school: group discussion. Because one thing I'll tell you is this, Rose, when teachers teach, that's one thing. But when you are taught by somebody who is in the same class like you, another candidate, you have a better chance to understand much better. Teachers make us understand. But why it does not come through, because some boys fear actually and girls. Listen to that person who is trying. Ask your friend who is doing well, how do you do this one? Finally, boys and girls, they must always work hard on their notes. If they are given notes, read. If you are given exercises, do them and do them to your level best. And complete them on time. Like when we are in school, some of our boys could hardly finish the notes. The homework is done halfway, or others never did it at all. No. So when the exam comes, how do you expect to do well in the exam, but the exercises for those notes and that exercise was not done? It is impossible. It is impossible. And when you see somebody who is trying to preach to you that these answers are difficult, take your feet and just run. Just run.
Flee
because
from them.
Yes. When somebody preach to you the wrong gospel, the best thing is to run. Don't even argue. Just run. And go and see the teacher. I remember something else that the earlier assisted us when we were in school, doing extra work. Whereby you go ahead of the teacher, or you do extra work from another book, and then you go and see the teacher to mark for you, or to explain something, or the concept you have not understood. It goes a long way in promoting your grades, actually. Yes.
Wow, hearing a teacher of over 30 years saying that, it really touches me, because I've been doing the science impact sessions in schools and the online meetings. And I'm so amazed that he's actually repeating the same things that I've been saying. You must love your teachers, he has said. You must get rid of the preconceived ideas that the sciences are difficult. So before we move on to the next question, as you subscribe, as you like, and as you share, we'd like to take a break. Now, before we take this break, I want to talk about Brenda Okwiri. Brenda Okwiri is an artist, and we just want to see some of the art that she has been doing. We are also going to share her contact. If you'd like to buy some art pieces or have her custom make some art pieces for you, for your office and for your home, you can contact her. Brenda Okwiri is an amazing heart, and guess what? I am seated in her house. She's an artist. She does very amazing paintings. You can get her contacts there, some of the work that she has done, and you can contact her for paintings for your house, for your office, and trust me, she can even custom make for you. You can just give her the idea you have and she will pop it up in your house. Welcome back. I'm here seated with Mr. Maina, my primary school science teacher, a man with a wealth of experience for over 30 years. And just before we took the break, he gave advice to the students who are in school on how they can hack sciences. Now, Bwana Maina, what advice can you give to teachers, young teachers like myself, teachers of science who want to achieve the many certificates of merit like you did? What advice can you give to us as teachers?
One, the teachers must also love the subjects they are teaching. And when I saw you in the Facebook, I saw there is that love of the subject. It's as if that you cannot teach anything else except sciences. That's how it's supposed to be. Love your subject, kabisa, and have the knowledge.
What if I'm just there for money?
If you're there for money, then I'm sorry you'll not be able to achieve much. Because there are teachers who just go to make money. They don't care when they miss classes.
Yeah.
They don't care when they are absent. They don't care when the kids or the candidates fail. Then already you are going the wrong way. You must love those kids. Number two, love those kids. Okay. Love the subject, love the kids. Know that those kids are just like your kids. You know, when you are teaching those boys and girls, there is somebody there who is teaching your children.
Yes, it's true.
So if you do a bad job on these boys and girls, God will do something somehow and make sure the teacher who is teaching your children also to do something wrong.
Wow.
Or to fail them in one or the other. So it is, I believe, if I work so hard on your children, even if my children are in a very fast school, God is going to bring it, what goes around comes around. So it is going to go in a way and come back and make sure that that teacher is also teaching my children well. And when I made, many children did well. Even my children are doing well, by the way.
Wonderful.
They are doing well. And I've never been able to regret, I've never regretted about my children. I taught well, and now they're also doing well. So to the teachers, if you do well and teach those boys and girls well, God is a person who pays. God sees. God hears.
Yeah, he's just.
So, yes. So if you do well, God will make sure that your children are also taught very well.
Yeah.
Wherever they will be, whichever the school they are being. So love the subject teachers that you are teaching. Love the boys and the girls. You are their mother. You are their father. You are their parent.
Yes.
Because look at these boys and girls. These boys and girls are in school many days in a year than when they are at home. Compare. How many days do they spend in school in a year? How many days do they spend at home in a year? So their time is more in school than at home. So school is more home to these boys and girls than their home, actually. Number two. Number three.
Yes, yes.
Love those boys. Love them, kabisa. And when they fail, you must feel it. If you teach boys and girls, and they fail, then you don't care, you don't even teach, or you say...
It must affect you, yeah?
Yes.
Their failure must affect you as a teacher.
Sometimes back, sometimes many years back, I don't want to say when, but I used to hear people say that even if that boy has failed in the exam, hatagua kwa nje. He not fail, he not fall in my house. Hata ukikuka mtihani kutagua kwa nje. You see? But God is listening. That boy is going to fail, and maybe God is going to turn his life upside down in a different way. But what about your children? God is also seeing. Yes.
By the way, Bwana Maina, are you aware that you gave me a nickname when I was in school?
I gave you a nickname.
Mesahau.
You know, I also used to call myself so many nicknames.
Kuna siku nilichapa kasichana kengine aki huko shule. Ukaanza kuniita Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Imagine.
Whatever it meant.
That time Sandra Bullock, I think she had acted a movie. And she was really fighting. It was an action movie. So kulikuwa na incident in the dormitory, and I had unfortunately gotten into a fight with a schoolmate. So when you came
it appears it is you who made that girl, not the other way around.
It's true. Anyway, I was just remembering that when I knew I'm coming to interview you, I said I must remind you the way you gave me a nickname when I was in school. Anyway, yeah. So now, what is your definition of a good school? You've worked in several private schools, successful schools, because you've mentioned the schools to me, and I'd like you to tell me what is your definition of a good school, and even give a word to people who own schools or who would want to own schools in future on what they should do to make their schools a good school.
I think, according to my definition, a good school is where teaching is being done well. Teaching. Yes. You see, these kids, some schools are having swimming pool. Others, there are many kind of entertainment. But the bottom line is this. Boys and girls have gone there to learn. And they'll be measured by the grades with which they come out of that school. Yes. Their achievement is what will speak last by the time they come out. So I think a good school, be it a public school, be it a private school, wherever they are, because we have got many schools even in the rural areas, a good school is where there is one, facilities, two, there is good learning taking place, and commitment to work. That one is a good school. And the last one, success is seen in that school. So even if it is a national school and there is no success, with all the facilities it has, it's not a good school. And there's another school there where maybe kids are even learning under trees, but they are doing well.
They're doing well, yes.
That's a good school.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, looking at your life and where you are now and where you were the many years ago when you were teaching us and the students that you taught before us, do you regret being a teacher?
No, I can't. I can't. I can't.
Okay.
It's just like regretting whether you are born.
Would you still choose to be a teacher?
Yes, I was born a teacher and I'm going to die a teacher.
Wow.
That's for real. And even in my epitaph, it had equal teacher, so and so.
Yeah, you want to be acknowledged as a teacher.
As a teacher, yes, I like it like that way.
Wow.
I have to be a teacher.
Wow,
I'm a teacher. Even at home, I'm a teacher. When I'm talking to my children, I'm their teacher. I'm a teacher everywhere.
Wow.
Yes.
So, is it somebody who told you become a teacher, or who guided you into this program?
That's a very good question. There's a teacher. I'm going to remember this teacher. When we were in school, in secondary school, when we believed that chemistry and physics were so difficult, there's a teacher who came, and he was called Mr. Munene. In our school, he was called Mr. Munene. He was old, and he had some brown or gray hair, gray hair. Let me tell you something. That teacher, he was so good. He taught us, and we understood chemistry that we were told it was difficult. I had a teacher. There's that teacher, Mr. Munene. Then there is another one who was called Mr. Kongo, who taught us the same economics that people are preaching to us is difficult. I was the best. However, people who taught me, they made me wish or choose that career. Because Mr. Munene, his style of teaching, his humor, his seriousness, everything about him was good. And every boy and girl in our class, we just loved him. And I remember one time we used to admire his boys. Sema, the children of this man, they are lucky. Because they know so much chemistry. Without that chemistry is inherited.
He's inherited.
Yes, but he was so good.
Yes.
And he had taught for many years. And all the subjects, those two subjects, he was teaching us chemistry and biology. And they were all in his head. He was like a walking book. And I really admired that. Wow. I love that. I said, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. And not just being a walking book, but the way he teaches you, whatever he teaches you, you get it. Yes. And you internalize it in you. And when the exam comes, you'll be able to do good. We really improve in the subject. And I really miss that man. If I come across Mr. Munene, just as you have done, you have looked for me, you have appreciated me, I will appreciate that man. Yes, yes. If I come across, I know now he's very old, but if I come across Mr. Munene, surely I'm telling the truth, I'm going to give him a very big hug.
Wonderful. So at the bottom of everything, at the end of everything, you can say that it is a teacher who made a difference in your life. Yes. And through those teachers, you desired to become a teacher.
I decided to go and teach.
Wow, that's quite interesting because even for me, and I'm hoping I can host her very soon. I'm already in contact with her. My high school chemistry teacher, over and above you, Mr. Maina, also contributed to me desiring to become a teacher. I'm going to host her very soon, and my viewers will get to hear from her as well, yeah? The way she was carrying herself, the way she had knowledge of the subject, and vile tu alikuwa, she was very tough, just like you are, sir, but that toughness made us, and that is what even made us to desire to become teachers.
Brenda Okwiri is an amazing heart, and guess what? I am seated in her house. She's an artist. She does very amazing paintings. You can get her contacts there, some of the work that she has done, and you can contact her for paintings for your house, for your office, and trust me, she can even custom make for you. You can just give her the idea you have and she'll pop it up in your house.
Now, I've just remembered during the break how Mr. Maina used to run, literally running from the staff room to class. That kind of passion made me never to forget him for over 2 decades. So I'm really enjoying sitting with him. And even the way he used to talk with a very loud voice, it was really quite interesting. So, Mr. Maina,
Yes.
I have a question, and I want you to answer and tell parents and students,
Yes.
Is science difficult?
Science is not difficult.
It's not hard.
Science is not hard. It only depends on what you have heard from people. If people preach you the wrong gospel, as I said, then, and you take it into your heart, and you believe it, then it's over. You'll fail the science even before you start. But if you go and talk to your teachers, because I believe the problem with us is talking to the wrong people. The learners should talk to the right people. Go and ask the teacher, what did you do in this subject to be a teacher? What can I do to reach where you are? Then with that, you'll be given the right information. But if you go and talk to failures, you become a failure. No. If you talk to people who never did well, they'll discourage you. Yes. Because nobody wants to fail alone. They want you fail, you add to their numbers. Avoid asking people that you're not sure of. Go and ask your teachers or ask somebody who did well. Yes. Actually, if you want to learn from somebody, you learn from the best.
Okay. Yes. Now, in our country, I'm just going to say this because it is information I have gotten from very reliable sources. In our country, we have schools that have labs that are not equipped. We also have schools that do not have enough labs. We have institutions that do not even have enough classrooms. Now, being an educationist, that is quite a red flag for me. And I want you to tell us, as a country, and even to the Ministry of Education, what can we do to improve science education, specifically science education, in terms of, how basically can we improve it as a country? Because I don't think, from the information I have gathered, I don't think we are doing well in terms of how we are handling science education generally as a country. So what's your advice and what's your take?
My advice is this. When you get a school without facilities, people are going to do the final examination and they have never seen the apparatus doing for the exam. That means that child has already failed in some of the questions. So it's up to the government to know how these facilities are going to be. There are some people, we can even ask people to donate. We can't lack people who are willing to donate. We can't lack people who are willing to support a certain school, because some of our parents are very poor. If you go to the rural areas, the situation is pathetic. You get a school, it's only a classroom. There's not. In fact, I heard of another one somewhere. When the final examination come, they go to the neighboring school for laboratories.
For the practical.
Yes, for practical, because they don't have a lab. And such schools, learners have never seen some of the basic apparatus, like a burette, as you said. I think I saw it in your wall. No. So what I'm saying, let the government, we have got school inspectors. Let them go around and give the government the real information. At this school, there is nothing. We can't close our eyes. How can we close our eyes and those learners continue failing? Maybe that's why we are having the cycle, the vicious cycle of poverty. Because some learners in those schools are bright. And maybe given an opportunity, they can also go places. But because they don't have any opportunity, they are in a school where they can never pass. Then we are having a problem. So the parents can contribute, the government can also get involved, and maybe even well-wishers can be involved.
Yeah, and even investors,
Yes,
international
investors
investors can come and, help us to equip our labs.
Yes.
And I think in the previous episode I mentioned that I want to have to have a fund that is, meant to equip labs, meant to construct science centers, because when I look back, even when I was doing my secondary school certificate of secondary education, there are some apparatus that I saw for the first time, and I was in a provincial school then. But because I had not been exposed enough, kuna ile, like they even fear that the students will break the apparatus because the apparatus are scarce. Yeah, so it's quite unfortunate because we are not able to achieve the potential that there is within our country if we are not exposing our learners to all the resources that they require. So I really truly agree with what you have said. Now on to our last question to you, Bwana Maina. Have you ever felt like you would want to give up teaching? And if you felt that before, why?
In my life, I've never felt like giving up teaching. I just feel like continuing, like going on and going. I think I'll teach until the day my bones will refuse to go.
Hakuna time ishaifika ukafeel mimi nimechoka na hii kazi haina pesa, wacha nikafanye mambo ingine.
I just love it. I've just told you the best moments I've ever spent in my life is when I'm in class.
When you're in class.
When I'm with my family and when I'm in class.
And you used to be very funny. You used to be very funny. Jokes zako zilikuwa zinashika sana.
They are called professional jokes.
They are
there. They are there. And in my class, we are happy.
Yes. So
we
you
are
never
felt
happy. Yeah.
The kids love it. We joke once in a while.
Yeah.
But they have to be relevant jokes.
Yes.
That are matching with the subject.
Yes.
Don't just do a bring jokes that you saw there. No, they have to be relevant jokes that they are connected somewhere in the subject.
Yes. Wonderful.
They really help those learners to remember.
It's true.
Yes. And when learners laugh, they remember.
Yes.
They remember.
Wow.
You also say that I used to talk a very loud voice.
Sana.
Shout sana. Maybe it is decreasing with my age, but I remember even before you came to that school where I was teaching you, I was waking up at 5 to go and teach science.
Na unapitia hapo kwa dorm ukishout.
Yes, I was shouting from outside at night, and then the kids could notice me, and then they could prepare. Then number 2, when I was teaching, the neighboring schools, they are Kiamonyaki, that area, Nakuru. The neighboring, the neighbors, some of them had learners who were candidates. And I came to learn later from another education is that when I was in class, they used to tell their candidates or their children to wake up at 5 and listen to me teach.
Oh my God.
And some of them belong to the neighboring public school there, and they could wake up.
So they would come to the fence or?
No, at home, light from their house.
So you would shout until they would
Until they
from
hear.
their
You know,
houses.
at night, scientifically,
Eh.
sound travels very well at night.
Yes.
And sound is very clear at night. So when you are teaching, they could hear and they also learn with me.
Wow.
And those who are good enough, they could even say, take some notes. So when we went for prize giving in the neighboring school, public school, that's when the headmaster Liliambia, some of our learners, they learned as you are also teaching your school. Yes.
Yeah, because we were in a very good we were in a very good private primary school. So for them, I'm sure they felt listening to a teacher who is in that school.
And some of them were still behind the school.
Yes.
And they could learn together with us.
Wow, wow.
Yes.
Oh wow. I think your passion truly could not be ignored.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so I truly appreciate you, Mr. Maina, for agreeing to come.
Sure.
Yeah, when I was calling him to invite him over for this interview, I was a bit, I wasn't sure how he would view it or whether he would agree, because he actually comes from Nyahururu. How many kilometers is it from Nyahururu?
It has to be 200 and something.
Yes. So
More than 250 if I'm not wrong.
Yes. So imagine he traveled close to 250 kilometers just to come and sit here with us. Of course, I'm going to make sure I leave Mr. Maina's contacts here. He's quite an experienced teacher, and you could use some of his advice. And I know there are school owners who could be watching this. You can call him even to train your teachers, because I believe that he has something to offer. So thank you so much, Bwana Maina. I truly appreciate. I hope this is not the last interview we are having together.
Yes.
We are going to do many impact sessions together, just to make sure that we make an impact and a change in our area of science. So before I conclude, I want to appreciate Engineer Wambua, CEO of GTech Audiovisual. He's the one covering and editing this episode. He was also the one who covered the Guinness World Record attempt for the longest science lesson. So for any of your needs for live coverage, video coverage, photography, please involve GTech Audiovisual. Asanteni sana, and I'm looking forward to seeing you for another episode. I still insist that you should like, you should subscribe, and you should share. Asanteni sana, and see you. Thank you.